Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto content. Now, in my earlier video from today, I did talk about crypto regulations regarding Congress, and I did get a comment saying, why July 28th? Why such a specific date? Well, I do want to go back to March 28th, 2021. This is talking about regulation. We do see the Fed plans to unveil digital dollar prototypes in July. Now, I just want to say, pretty much with crypto, the entire time that crypto has pretty much been in this space, which it's been almost 11 years now. We've been seeing governments kind of say, well, we don't want to adopt it, or we're seeing them kind of move into adoption now, but before, the government really never cared about it. And you want to know why they care about it right now is because we're seeing meme coins that come out, right? Like Shiba Inu or Dogecoin. It's making overnight millionaires. Now, I know that a lot of people don't see a problem with that. Trust me, I like to see everybody get rich myself. If I'm eating, I want everybody else to eat too. And the problem with that is that governments need people to be poor. They actually want people to be poor because it helps the economy. And the reason why I say that, because a lot of people are kind of confused with that, is poor people tend to spend more money than those that are rich. Poor people buy a lot of stupid stuff. You could actually kind of see that in past, pretty much psychological choices. And that's why a lot of rich people invest their money. A lot of individuals who are rich kind of don't spend their money idiotically. And when I say idiotically, I mean if I made $500,000 off of crypto tomorrow, would I be going out and buying a Porsche? Would I be buying a Ferrari? Absolutely not. If I'm making $500,000 off of crypto, most of it's getting invested back in on the low end. But we see the fact that for the most part, governments don't want, especially when we talk about the U.S. government. The U.S. government does not want to adopt crypto. They actually want to do their own thing. Elizabeth Warren actually said this already. Now, the interesting thing here is this is still talking about MIT and the Federal Reserve. Now, when we talk about the Federal Reserve, this is talking about the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston and MIT overall. And this is even going back to when Jerome Powell was talking about pretty much the BIS and, the US digital coin. This kind of goes hand in hand even with Hedera Hashgraph, where a lot of people, the reason why I'm really excited about being in HBAR is it's not the idea that it's new out on the block. It's new technology that's never been seen before in crypto. It's because it has so many ties to CBDCs, to financial sectors, to even, the Federal Reserve. It has a direct tie with MTech. Now, of course, MTech's not going to be the choice for all CBDCs. MTech is pretty much, I would say they're kind of only working with the Sand Dollar, which is the Bahamas CBDC, and also the US CBDC. Now, Hedera Hashgraph doesn't play a huge role in it. HBAR is not going to be the bridge asset like XRP is for a lot of people who believe it. HBAR is basically going to be the trust layer, because what Hedera Hashgraph could achieve through its asynchronous Byzantine consensus layer is the fact that it is the highest grade security. So a lot of these CBDCs would want that high grade security, because when we're talking about finances, it is very important. But we do see here the Boston Fed and MIT hope to unveil some of their work in the third quarter, including at least 2 prototype software platforms that could move, store, and settle transactions made with digital dollars. Now, this kind of goes hand in hand where I was talking about in 2022. We are going to see about 6 banks test a CBDC. Now, they already said that they're not trying to race China to this. They're pretty much trying to do this slow, so that's more effective and not, they don't want it to have problems. They don't want it to be problematic. Now, we do see here there are major issues that the central bank, the Treasury, and Congress must address regarding the digital dollar. These include whether the Fed should host customer accounts itself, whether to allow anonymity, and what protections consumers would have in case of a cyber attack or erroneous transaction. Now, when we talk about this, we even talk about the idea of cyber attacks that are going on in the United States. And I've talked about why they could benefit from adopting crypto and kind of get away from cyber attacks. Even when we talk about Hedera Hashgraph, the biggest thing that even Lehman said is, if one node goes down, the entire network still stays up. That's why I think that, when we talk about these platforms, these servers that are being built, they should be built on a DLT or, a cryptocurrency's network overall, because even if one node gets attacked, the entire network still stays up. Everything is still working efficiently. So I think that they could benefit greatly from working with a cryptocurrency asset like HBAR. It doesn't have to directly be Hedera Hashgraph. I just think that it is one of the most, in my opinion, it's the most compliant one. It's also the best choice, in my opinion. It's not going to be, I'm not saying this only because I'm a holder of HBAR. It's just because I've done so much research on it, and it really is the strongest asset, in my opinion, for something like this. Now, we do see that if we come down here, Powell said that the central bank would fully adopt a digital dollar only with the support of the nation's elected leaders. In February, he said that the digital dollar is a very high priority project for the Fed. We would need buy-in from Congress. And again, this is what's happening right now. We're seeing Congress coming in, even regarding, what just recently happened with Elizabeth Warren. It's very interesting that a lot of these kind of tie in together. Now, we do see from the administration, from broad elements of the public, Powell emphasized last week, adding, we would not proceed with this without the support from Congress. And I think that would ideally come in the form of an authorizing law, rather than us trying to interpret our law to enable this. So, yeah, this is very interesting to kind of look into, because even down here, right, they're saying U.S. Senator Warren presses SEC to use full authority to regulate cryptocurrency trading. And it even kind of goes hand in hand with what they're trying to do with Congress, because she even said, that she wants to bring Congress in as well to have it, pretty much their hand in the bucket as well, which is very interesting because a lot of this is kind of tying itself into that. And especially considering the fact that she wants it by July 28th. And this is, talking about testing a digital dollar in July as well. Now, in terms of banks, of course, central banks are different than your standard banks. And when we talk about standard banks, we talk about Wells Fargo, stuff like that. A lot of things are actually happening behind the scenes with banks. Currently, right now, we see Wells Fargo tells customers it's shutting all personal lines of credit. This is a lot of these banks I just don't think are going to be around much longer. We've actually seen banks shut down in the past. A lot of banks, even locally, for me, there's only really about 2 choices now when there used to be like about 10. But we are seeing a lot more banks kind of shut down. Things are moving at a rapid pace. I think at some point in time, a lot of these, local bank branches and, branches around the world like Wells Fargo and stuff, are going to be kind of shut down. I think that we are going to be running off of just one central bank, if you will, utilizing a CBDC. Again, we still have some time before that actually happens, but I do think banks are a thing of the past. I think that they did what they needed to do for quite some time, but we do need to march into what is a new digital wave for finance. Finance is extremely outdated. I've mentioned it multiple times. I've also talked about how banks are such a bad way of actually going about things. It's very slow. It's just not, scalable for our demand that we see right now. But this is not the only thing that we are seeing, right? We are also seeing Bank of America launched a new markets research team dedicated to cryptocurrencies. Again, if these banks are not going to jump into the crypto boat, they're just going to go down, right? Because they are in a sinking ship that has been outscaled on a global mass by other digital options. Again, even digital options like debit cards and credit cards and stuff that kind of rely on banks for the most part, not so much credit cards, but debit cards. Again, they are still a thing of the past. For me personally, I think debit cards are also going to have to move to a DLT at some point in time, because they're just, they're getting outscaled massively. They are going down when, the demand is there. And they just can't settle as many transactions as they need to. We have 7 billion people in this world, and our population is growing day by day, no matter what. And that's more and more people that are eventually going to be utilizing a debit card, a bank, and the demand is there, the supply is not. It's just that simple. Now, when we talk about this, we even see a quote here. We do see cryptocurrency and digital assets constitute one of the fastest, the fastest growing emerging technology ecosystems. Head of global research for Bank of America said, we are uniquely positioned to provide thought leadership due to our strong industry research analysis, market leading global payments platform, and our blockchain expertise. So a lot of these assets are kind of getting into pretty much crypto. A lot of it is regarding Bitcoin. We even see down here Goldman Sachs and Citigroup have both announced in recent months initiatives to open up Bitcoin to their wealthy private wealth class clients. Again, I just think Bitcoin is the wrong asset to really kind of center things around. Of course, Bitcoin does pretty much everything in crypto kind of relies on it, but for me personally, I do think that crypto is the future. I think a lot of these banks will soon emphasize on something like Bank of America doing this. I think that this is very interesting to see. I think the cryptocurrency market is ever growing and prospering. I think regulations, for the most part, they're not a great thing to happen to crypto, but they're definitely not a bad thing either, because it does add the legitimacy factor, to crypto. If you talk to anybody about investing in crypto, a lot of them will have their paranoia aspect where they think that crypto is a scam or they don't think it's legit. I think once regulations come into place, that will help it. But again, regulations, it's an uphill battle, because regulations could mean, just shutting down all of these meme coins that don't have, compliance layers to them or compliant factors to them. So a lot of assets I do think will survive. It's just a lot of them will kind of disappear as well. It's good for those assets that you are invested in. That's why I always say, make sure to read the white paper, make sure to know the team behind it, and make sure you do your research, because that will tell you if your asset will survive something like regulations from governments and so forth. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. I do think DLTs and projects like HBAR are going to be the future for digital societies, especially for finance. I think that DeFi is going to really disrupt the traditional finance world. I think traditional finance will also prosper, as we even talk about ALBT kind of grabbing that market as well. But let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. If you guys did enjoy this video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys do want more free content, you guys can follow me on Twitter at NCashOfficial. You guys could also join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, this is Nick here. I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this world. Peace out.